After years of Hollywood attacking their audience and alienating the fan base to go along with the rising prices of tickets as well as everything else in this world, it wasn't a surprise that the woke box office was suffering in a big way. The worst September box office in 25 years, a quarter of a century, because quite frankly, people aren't just going to come out and support anything nowadays. Well, a movie has finally broken the terrible track record that the box office had. Black Adam is leading a comeback for the box office. The first time that the full weekend box office is going to be over $100 million since the middle of July. That's how bad it's been for Hollywood. And as nice as that is for the box office to cure this box office drought that everyone's had, is it good news for DC? Is Black Adam going to do enough to actually make money? Or are they sitting there? Is Warner Brothers going to be sitting there looking at yet another movie that might cost them money? Black Adam thundering to $60 to $62 million opening weekend. Dwayne Johnson's best opening as a leading man. Now, there are a lot of people that look very positively on this. However, when you look at the full state of things, I don't know if it's quite there yet. Although one thing is clear, the fans are enjoying Black Adam as a whole. I talked about it the other day. I did a review on my other channel. I gotta be honest, I don't think it's that good. I think it's a very average movie. I gave it a 5 out of 10, but you can't deny there's a big split right now between the critics and the majority of the audience. I don't fall into that majority. I think the first hour of this movie is kind of a mess. However, if you're just looking for crazy fun and a story that will not stick in your mind and has no lasting ramifications and you don't care anything about character motivations, then you might really enjoy this movie, as it seems like some people have. But that Rotten Tomatoes score can be as high as it wants to be. None of that's gonna matter if this movie doesn't make money for DC. And with the news we're getting now, with the tracking we're getting, I don't think that it's good news overall for Warner Brothers. But let's dig into the numbers and I'll show you exactly what Black Adam needs to do and why, even though it's leading the box office, even though it's, projected and, being perceived as a box office comeback for the box office as a whole, it's got a lot of work to do. Saturday AM, Black Adam's now expected opening of $60 to $62 million by many measure is a solid start, and it's the best domestic debut for Dwayne Johnson outside of an ensemble movie. Heck, he might even beat the Fast and Furious spinoff Hobbs and Shaw. That pick opened to $60.03 million. As we already told you, Friday repped The Rock's best opening day in a solo star vehicle, now at $26.8 million. Black Adam and Universal's counter-programming, the George Clooney-Julia Roberts movie, which is overperforming, are pushing weekend ticket sales to 109 million. The first time the weekend has been over 100 million since July 22nd through 24th. That is a long-ass time for the box office to be effectively making no money because, quite frankly, Hollywood's not putting things out that people are interested in going to see. In addition, there's a great diverse turnout. Yes, diverse audiences. Yes, everything we love. Also working in favor of Black Adam, then it talks about the fan reception so far that's been very positive, despite the critics not liking this movie. There is an argument to be made that Black Adam is off its early $70 million projection when it first hit tracking. I think they should be worried about that. And that Warner Brothers' DC movie is still opening-wise in shadow of Marvel's $100 million streak track record. And DC's last movie, The Batman, made $134 million opening weekend. In regards to whether Black Adam should have been more mass appealing or have higher audience scores, that's for New Line, DC, and everybody else to figure out. But it is something that we have to address. We have to talk about this because, in addition to the $60 million it's looking to make, it's probably going to make us another $70 million, and that means $130 million worldwide its opening weekend. When we look at the history of the DC box office, we can make some comparisons, right? So that would fall somewhere in between Shazam and Aquaman. Now, Aquaman had an incredible run, especially at the international box office. It had great hold, it had great legs. So it took that $67 million start and took off, made $1.1 billion. Shazam, which made $53 million, didn't do anything like that. It had a more typical, this is usually what we see from these movies, and it ended at $363 million worldwide. If Black Adam hits about $60 million, which it looks like it's going to, It has so much work to do, a ridiculous amount of work to get to that $500 million it needs to break even. So right now it does look like, despite all the headlines, despite the fact that, a lot of people are apparently energized about this film and they're happy about it. And of course, they did do exactly what the fans wanted in that post-credit scene. You know what I'm talking about in all likelihood. Despite all that, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of energy surrounding Black Adam. When you compare that $60 million opening, let's look at some MCU products that we've seen in recent memory. Eternals made $70 million, and that barely cracked $400 million at the worldwide box office. Shang-Chi, $75 million, $432 at the end of the day. Black Widow, $80 million, didn't make $400 million. So you're talking about a Black Adam movie that is now, being celebrated and praised for sure, but when it comes to the money line, right now, it's going to have a lot of work to do over the next several weeks. Now, maybe that good word of mouth will change things. Maybe that will have a big positive impact. Maybe it'll have a great drop. Maybe it'll do wonders and people just want to go back and see it again and again and again. I don't think that that's the case. I've said that from the beginning. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. But there's no doubt that there's some good news for the box office. Finally, theaters have some money coming in at least. But overall, when you look at the outlook for DC for Black Adam right now, a lot is yet to be determined. And that second weekend is going to be huge because this movie needs to do big numbers if it wants to actually make a profit. $500 million is the break-even point. And despite the positivity, with an opening weekend like this, it has a lot of work to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my PO box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.